til vårt program Inside Israel fra internasjonale kristne ambassade Jerusalem. I dag ser vi blant annet på forkynnelse om Israel i den lokale menighet. Men først, nå skal du få møte sønnen Hamas, Mosab Hassan Jousef, som inviterte til Norge tidligere i år.
Dear Mosab, you were born in Ramallah. Can you please tell us about your story?
It's a long ride from Ramallah to here, honestly. Ramallah is a Palestinian city, and I was born in an Islamic environment. My father is a Muslim imam. He's a Muslim leader, and he's actually one of the founders of the ideological, political, and violent organization Hamas. So this is the birth place, and it's the birth status. A son of imam of Palestine, you can say, an Arabian, in a pure Arabic environment. Yeah.
And you had a story and a life where you also changed, how to say, and started to cooperate with Israel.
You know, my encounter with Israel was unexpected. Someone who was born, as I said, in such environment. There is no way for them to be loyal to Israel, no matter what. Because I grew up in a very solid family. You know, the bond to my father and mother, very, very strong. And our family is considered to be a very healthy family in the sense of our way we see the society and the people, and especially how much our family suffered because of what's so-called Israeli occupation. So practically, for someone like me coming from my background, it was impossible to betray whether if it was by temptation or by intimidation. But I agreed to work for Israel motivated by revenge. I wanted to be a double agent. I wanted to infiltrate the Israeli intelligence service and actually attack them from within. And this is why I said yes, and this is how unusual journey began.
But did you betray them? The Israeli intelligence?
You know, it was the original idea, and it was motivated by anger and by hatred, which is a natural human reaction for all the social problems, for all the cultural limitations, for all the human conditions of anger, of shame, of guilt, of so many forces working together, you know, that brings you to, bring you to the point of just like explosion. You know, some of us take everything in and we get very sick and we die. And some of us just say enough is enough. You know, I'm fed up with all the propaganda. I'm fed up with all the judgment of the society. I'm tired of people's brutality and cruelness. And we choose to do something different. We choose freedom. You know, we say, even if I have to lose my status in the society, I'll do so. And the very interesting thing about my journey with the Israeli intelligence, that from day one, a higher truth, I don't want to say truth itself, but a higher truth started unfolding itself. And this is, you know, the way of existence, the way of life, that always there are signs all over the place to show the blind ones that there is a higher truth beyond the mind that is conditioned in a certain culture. And this is how, little by little, now I became more interested in observing and knowing the truth rather than just reacting and by anger and by hatred. This is why my first agenda of taking revenge, of causing trouble for Israel or for any other party start to vanish gradually. And the more important, which is knowing myself, knowing our society, knowing the ways of existence became priority and became more important than serving a certain political party or national agendas away from what's considered betrayal or heroism. It's all nonsense if the person loses themselves.
You have seen both societies, both the society under the Palestinian leadership and under Hamas, and you also see the Israel society and the Jewish people living in Israel. If you compare this, what do you see?
You know, on a journey like this, where you transcend the cultural barriers and boundaries of the mind, and you go on the unknown, you definitely, first of all, and most importantly, you start understanding the nature of your own mind and how it's functioned, how it's shaped and designed by the forces of a certain society. So the moment you get out of that society, and I say out of it, it's not like by just buying an airplane ticket and going to some other society and try to see it from the outside. It's like truly dropping your cultural identity in order to see other identities and to see the dynamics of cultures, of civilizations coming all together and their invisible forces. So practically, I was able not only to see the Palestinian society, which is unfortunately, when you are inside, you are in a blind spot. And when I say inside, does not mean living in Ramallah. And when I say outside, doesn't mean being outside of Ramallah. It's actually our capacity of being able to travel beyond the fence that is built by the forces of society, by the parents, by the religious institution, or by the culture itself. And once we are able to go out, then we have a better understanding of our own society. Then we can compare this society with that society. Then we can make sense of why people are fighting each other. And this will take us deeper in our understanding of the human condition, of the human fear, human delusion, and the limitations of the human mind. And the more you expand in your understanding of theories, dogmas, religions, cultures, then the phenomena will continue unfolding itself. That you come to a point where you realize the falsehood of the human mind, which is like it's impossible to come to that point without truly dropping the mind completely again and again and again and again. Otherwise, there is no way to understand the ways and the deception of the human ego.
When you're traveling around the world, what are you responding to those who accuse Israel of being an apartheid, a racist state?
You know, this type of people who pass such judgment, which is big judgment, they are only projecting the inner self. If they see in Israel as a racist country, basically what they see the inner state of who they are. This is universal. This is universal truth right now. This is not political. This is why Jesus the Christ said, judge not. Because the moment you see something in an external thing, whether if it's a human being or anything else, it's a projection of your inner state. So the people who judge Israel of being racist, those are the ones who are actually racist. This is psychology, this is science, this is philosophy, this is the opinion of not only of the philosopher, also of the mystic, of the people who understand the human nature. The state of Israel is nothing but a democracy, okay? The way that people see it from the outside. It's a democratic country. It has its own mistakes, just like any other democracy. It has all religions within. There are human rights, there are women's rights, and there is religious freedoms. You know, when I look at Israel, there are Jews, Muslims, Christians, yogis, Hindus, all type of religions being practiced in the state of Israel, and all of them are protected by the Israeli constitution. While I don't see this in any of the surrounding countries that accuse Israel of being racist. I don't see any other temple except the mosque. So with that said, judging Israel and accusing Israel is nothing but a projection of the accuser's hatred and ignorance of the reality of the state of Israel.
How do you think that the BDS, and how to say Palestine activists in the Western world, for example, here in Norway, we have groups that want to boycott Israel and are following up the BDS movement. How do they affect the conflict on the ground in the Middle East?
They are not only affecting the conflict of the Middle East, you know, they are creating a division in the free world. And they are spreading lies, basically, you know, to boycott Israel. This means that we need also to boycott all the things that Israel as a nation and the Jewish nation contributed towards humanity and towards the world. In science, in medicine, in literature, in technology, and values, ethics, name it. The hatred against Israel is the hatred, the ancient, classic stereotype and hatred against the Jewish people. And it springs from jealousy and from hatred. It's the fear of life. And the Jewish people throughout the centuries demonstrated love for life in their creativity, in their dance, in their art, in their patience, in their strength against all the oppression and persecution of so many millennia and centuries, from Egypt to Babylon to Mohammedism in the Arab Peninsula to the Roman Empire, and finally, and not the end of it, the Holocaust. So such a nation that can perform at this level of intelligence and to be able to survive against all the odds, of course it's going to make people who hate life uncomfortable. And it's going to make them feel uncomfortable and afraid. So practically these accusations and this attempt to boycott, this is not a new thing, and it's not anti-Israel and anti-Jewish. It's basically anti-evolution, it's anti-life, it's anti-existence. And those who stand on that side need to be recognized as liars, as actually Nazis and fascists, because they don't have a legitimate reason. They use politics, and they know how to manipulate politics to deceive the average person and to make them emotional about something which does not exist. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict and all the tragedy happening there is not the responsibility of the State of Israel. It's first and most importantly the responsibility of the Palestinian leaderships who have been dragging the Palestinian population from a ditch to a deeper ditch. Those are the ones who are the criminals and the enemies of the Palestinian people, and I encourage the free world to boycott those and bring them to justice, rather than boycotting the only democracy, the only defender of the free world in the Middle East. But apparently, Lucifers of the New Age succeeded in deceiving what's so-called the free world and dividing the free world, that this is BDS, it's a humanitarian cause, but their intention is impure, and their intention is to delegitimize the only democracy in the Middle East, rather than establishing a true Palestinian democracy.
Thank you so much, Mosab.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Internasjonale kristne ambassade i Jerusalem arbeider på en svært bred plattform. Vi har et utstrakt arbeid i Israel og ut på alle verdens kontinenter. Bli med oss og gjør en forskjell. I Israel og for Israel i 90 nasjoner. Du kan motta vår avis 11 ganger i året for 300 kroner. Bli med oss ved å sende en tekstmelding med ICEJ til 2030. Er det slik at vi som kristne i våre menigheter skulle løfte fram og undervise om Israel, eller er dette bare et tema for spesielt interesserte? Nå er det tid for Directors Corner med Dag Øyvind Juliussen.
Bibelen lærer oss at frelsen kommer fra jødene. På et forunderlig vis så kalte Gud dette folket inn til eksistens, for at de skulle være en velsignelse for hele verden. Og det var det Gud sa til Abraham. I deg skal alle slekter på jorden bli velsignet. Gud har brukt dette folkets historie og reise til å være en arena for hans frelsesplan her i verden. På mange måter så kan vi si at det jødiske folket og nasjonen Israel, og spesifikt Jerusalem, ble himmelens kontaktpunkt inn mot jorden og mot menneskeheten. Bibelen sier jo også, eller Jesus selv sier, at Jerusalem er den store konges by. Ikke bare ga de oss Jesus som frelser, men de ga oss hele frelsesverket. Altså Bibelen, paktene og så videre ble gitt til dette folket. Paulus sier i Romerne 11, har da Gud forkastet sitt folk? Nei, langt derifra, sier han. Så Paulus, han er klar i skriftene på at utvelgelsen av Israel og det jødiske folk, pakten med Abraham, den står fast. Dessverre så har vår kirkehistorie gjennom århundrene og gjennom historien vært preget av det vi kaller for erstatningsteologi. Og erstatningsteologi, helt kortfattet, går ut på at nå er det kirken som er det nye Israel, mens jødene er forkastet som Guds folk. Og det er en halv sannhet i denne erstatningsteologien, for det er riktig at vi har blitt podet inn, vi som tror på Jesus. Vi har også fått Abraham som far. Så det er noe riktig, men det blir helt galt når man lærer at Gud har forkastet det folket han en gang utvalgte, og det folket han inngikk en ensidig pakt med. Denne erstatningsteologien har vært en katastrofe for både kirken og for jødene. Den åpnet dørene for jødehat og antisemittisme inn i kirkens rekker. Derfor så ser vi at kirkefedrene, de var preget av dette jødehatet, som man også fant i andre sammenhenger. I stedet for at kirken var en foregangsinstitusjon som velsignet jødene, så ble kirken dessverre det motsatte. Når Martin Luther kom og ble en reformator, som vi takker Gud for 500 år tilbake, så brakte han dessverre ingen reformasjon i synet på Israel, eller synet på det jødiske folk. Så han fortsatte den kursen, det budskapet, som kirken tidligere hadde vært preget av. Dessverre, dessverre. Etter andre verdenskrig, under krigsoppgjøret med nazistene, så sa de, vi gjorde bare hva Martin Luther sa. Dette ble sagt under Nürnberg-prosessen med nazistene. Vi gjorde bare hva Martin Luther sa. Det er den tragiske historien til kirkens forhold til jødene. Og holocaust, med utslettelsen av 6 millioner jøder, fant ikke sted hvor som helst. Det fant sted i det kristne Europa. På det kontinentet som hadde hatt evangeliet i århundrer. Der ble jødene forfulgt og drept. Og dessverre så fungerte den kirkelige teologiske erstatningsteologien og dette hatet mot jødene som en legitimitet for nazistenes grusomheter. Bibelen lærer oss at troen kommer av forkynnelsen. Derfor er det helt avgjørende viktig at menigheten og at kirken, at bedehusene, forkynner Guds ord. Så er spørsmålet i våre dager. Hva er stova? Hva er situasjonen i våre lokale menigheter, i ulike sammenhenger, kirkesamfunnet i Norge? Hva er situasjonen når det gjelder forkynnelsen, undervisningen og læren om Israel og de jødiske folk ut fra Bibelen? Dessverre så er det slik at store deler av Krist-Norge, eller mange av våre menigheter, det er ikke det at de er preget av erstatningsteologi, nødvendigvis, eller direkte. Men de har ikke noen teologi i hele tatt. Dessverre så har mange menigheter forholdt seg til Israel og jødene som et ikke-tema, eller et tema for spesielt interesserte. Og det stemmer jo ikke med Bibelen. Israel er det navnet i Bibelen som er nevnt flest ganger etter Gud og Herren. Cirka 2465 ganger er Israel nevnt i Guds ord. Og da må man jo stille spørsmålet, hvis Bibelen sier så mye om dette folket, hvorfor sier ikke kirken noe da? Hvorfor lærer ikke menighetene noe da? Her har vi behov for en skikkelig gjennomgang inn i Kristi kropp, inn i våre menigheter, slik at Israel blir en del av forkynnelsen, det blir en del av bønnemøtene i menigheten, og det blir også en del av menighetens økonomiske budsjett. Fordi Paulus sier i Romerne kapittel 15 og vers 27, dersom vi har fått del i jødenes åndelige goder, da plikter vi å tjene dem med det timelige. Samtidig sier han også at vi står i gjeld til dem. Så jeg vil oppmuntre deg, når du ber for landet vårt, når du ber for Israel, be også for norske menigheter, om at denne åpenbaringen fra Guds ord om Israel skal komme inn i forsamlingslivet, slik at man ikke som en leder holder dette utenfor det lokale menighetsliv. men at man kommer til en erkjennelse at frelsen kommer fra jødene. Og Guds pakt med dem, den gjelder fortsatt. Og vi står i gjeld til dem. Gud velsigne deg.
Vi har nylig lansert en helt ny webside som du finner på icej.no. Her finner du nyheter, undervisning og forkynnelse. I tillegg kan du følge oss på Facebook og være med og dele våre saker. På denne måten kan vi sammen nå ut til titusener i landet vårt. Takk for i dag, og Gud velsigne deg.